strap your weapon.
The story kicks off with Max Payne desperately fighting to stay afloat in a freezing, ice-covered river. As he struggles, his voice narrates in the background, giving us a glimpse into his thoughts. The scene then flashes back to a week earlier, showing Max working a dull job in the cold case department of the police force. But his focus is far from the mundane tasks of his job. He's obsessed with tracking down whoever brutally murdered his wife, Michelle, and their infant daughter. Late one night, Max heads to a sketchy subway station, hoping to dig up some leads in the city's dark underworld. He runs into 3 drug addicts on a deserted platform, and things quickly turn violent when they try to rob him. Max, however, manages to overpower them and starts interrogating them about a tattoo, a pair of wings, which he believes is tied to his family's murder. One of the thugs spills a single word, Ragnarok. Determined to chase this new lead, Max crashes a wild party hosted by his informant, Trevor Duncan. It's there that he crosses paths with Natasha Sachs and her sister, Mona. Natasha ends up going home with Max and makes a shocking move. She offers to roleplay as his deceased wife in bed. Max, clearly disturbed, asks her to leave. Later, as Natasha walks through an alley while chatting with her drug dealer on the phone, a terrifying winged creature hunts her down and kills her. The next day, Max teams up with his old partner, Alex Balder, to investigate Natasha's death. Alex drops a bombshell. Max's wallet was found at the crime scene, making him the prime suspect. Back at the station, Alex digs deeper and finds out that the wing tattoo on Natasha's arm matches one on the arm of a man Max killed around the time of his wife's murder. Alex tries to call Max to share this revelation, but the call goes to voicemail. Max hears the message and rushes home, only to find Alex dead. Before Max can process what's happening, he's ambushed and beaten unconscious. When he comes to, he's in the hospital with his mentor, B.B. Hensley, sitting nearby. Later, Max visits Alex's house to pay his respects, but his wife, Krista Balder, angrily tells him to leave, blaming Max for always pushing away the people who cared about him. As Max pieces things together, he runs into Mona Sachs again. Mona initially accuses him of killing Natasha, but Max convinces her they're both hunting the same person. Together, they dig through Alex's investigative files and discover that the last person Natasha called was a man named Owen Green. Meanwhile, the story shifts to Jack Lupino, a crime boss who's completely unhinged thanks to his addiction to a drug called Valkyr. Jack forces the drug on another junkie with a wing tattoo, only to kill him moments later. Max and Mona track down Owen Green's apartment, but when they arrive, they hear him screaming. Like Jack, Owen is hallucinating due to Valkyr and backs away from Max and Mona in a panic. Suddenly, an invisible winged creature yanks him over the edge of the apartment, and he falls to his death. Max and Mona visit a tattoo artist who worked on Natasha, asking about the mysterious wing tattoo. The artist explains that it represents a Valkyrie, a figure from Norse mythology that escorts the souls of violent warriors to heaven. Max's investigation leads him to Acer Pharmaceuticals, where Michelle used to work. He corners her former boss, Jason Colden, and threatens him at gunpoint to get answers. Cole then spills the truth. Michelle had been involved in a massive military project led by Acer's CEO, Nicole Horn. The project aimed to create a stamina-boosting drug for soldiers. But there was a major flaw. The drug only worked on 1% of test subjects, while the rest suffered horrifying hallucinations of demonic creatures. Because of this, the project was eventually shut down. Cole then reveals that Michelle's murder was directly connected to the drug and hands Max an envelope containing everything he needs to know. But before they can leave, Calvin's secretary tips off BB, the head of Acer Security. A team of armed guards is dispatched to stop them. Even though Max identifies himself as a cop, the guards open fire without hesitation, forcing Max into a deadly confrontation. Cole then ends up getting silence for good, just so he can't spill the beans about what he knows. Meanwhile, Max barely makes it out alive, clutching the envelope amidst a chaotic shootout. During the chaos, he has a brief run-in with Jim Bravura, an internal affairs officer. Later, Mona tracks Max down to an old, abandoned warehouse, where he's busy watching a video from Calvin's package. The footage reveals the truth. Acer Pharmaceuticals was behind the creation of Valkyr, a drug designed to enhance soldiers' combat abilities and keep their fears in check. The video also uncovers that Jack Lupino, now a psychotic killer, used to be a soldier who volunteered for the Valkyr trials. In his interview, Lupino claimed the drug made him feel invincible, with no side effects at first. Mona tells Max that Lupino's hideout is a nightclub called Ragnarok. Max heads to Ragnarok, where he takes down all of Lupino's henchmen one by one. Eventually, he faces off with Lupino himself, who tries to inject Max with Valkyr. But before he can, BB shows up and shoots Lupino dead. As they leave Ragnarok, BB suddenly turns on Max. His assistant knocks Max out, and when Max wakes up, he's handcuffed, walking between BB and his goon. BB smugly confesses that he's the mastermind behind Valkyr and the one responsible for Michelle's murder. He also admits that he killed Michelle because she had uncovered Valkyr's flaws and would have stopped the drug from hitting the market. BB had even tried to frame Max as a drug-addicted wreck by planting 2 vials of Valkyr in his jacket and then dumping him into an icy river to drown. This brings us back to the opening scene, where Max is sinking to the bottom. Just when it seems like it's over for him, memories of his wife and daughter fuel his fight to survive. Barely making it out of the water, Max is freezing and desperate. With no other choice, he downs the 2 vials of Valkyr that BB had planted on him. The drug kicks in fast, giving Max a massive surge of strength and rage, but it also triggers terrifying hallucinations of winged, demonic creatures. The mythical Valkyries. Now supercharged and out for blood, Max storms into Acer Pharmaceuticals, determined to finish off BB. However, his hallucinations make it harder to focus, and he nearly gets taken out by one of BB's guards. Just in time, Mona shows up and saves him. She tells Max she'll handle the rest of the guards so he can go after BB. Meanwhile, BB has a helicopter waiting to whisk him away, and his assistant is working on blowing up the rooftop access to block Max's path. Mona manages to fatally wound the assistant, but before dying, the man triggers the explosives, destroying the floor he's on. Max finally catches up with BB, and despite being shot twice, he musters the strength to take him down. With BB dead, Max collapses near the edge of the building. As he sits there, the dark, snowy sky begins to clear. The sun breaks through the clouds, shining down on Max's face. In that moment, he has a vision of himself reunited with his wife and daughter. Michelle's voice gently says, "Not yet, Max." The vision fades, and Max snaps back to reality. Hearing the sound of approaching police, he heads back to the helipad. In a post-credit scene, Max meets Mona at a bar. They don't say a word to each other, but Mona slides him a newspaper with a headline reading, "Acer Profitsor," alongside a picture of Nicole Horn, Acer's CEO. Max and Mona exchange a knowing look, hinting that their fight isn't over yet. Thanks for sticking around. If you liked this recap, smash that like button. And if you didn't, go ahead and hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. Better yet, watch the full movie yourself for the complete experience. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one.